Welcome to On Forge, a StoneBlade Entertainment YouTube news show focused on SolForge Fusion centric content, news from the growing library of StoneBlade Entertainment games, and occasionally a special StoneBlade guest. I'm your host, Jurch, the head of organized play at StoneBlade, and joining me, as usual, is game designer and head of customer service, Lucas Lewinter.
How you doing, Church?
Hanging in there. But now that you mention it, I know that it's getting really close to summer, but why are we suddenly feeling so chilly?
Well, I think we're also approaching here the last winter. Now it is out in available at retail, and our Kickstarter backers will have their copies in hand when this goes live. So make sure to check that out. We'll have digital decks available as well. And if you haven't received your Kickstarter things, please email me at support@stonblade.com. But we're very excited to have the third SolForge Fusion set out in people's hands, and I think we'll even be showing off a little bit of gameplay later.
We absolutely will. That's actually the main focus of this episode of On Forge is talking about the last winter, SolForge Fusion Set 3, and we actually are going to be playing a match of SolForge Fusion using Set 3 product to give a kind of a flavor and a taste of what this is going to look like for people who haven't had a chance to play any of it yet. So let's just dive right into the news. Lucas, what is the latest news on Ascension?
Well, Ascension, we have Ascension Legends coming out on GameFound here. It'll kind of be midsummer there. Uh, Ascension Legends is designed for both newcomers and veterans of the series. We currently have over 3,500 followers, and we'll be dropping a new update at 4,000 followers with new card preview shown. So if you follow now, you'll be getting free promo cards included with your pledge.
And everybody loves free stuff. And you said that we're only like 500 followers away. So check the show notes, the episode description down below, and click on that link and sign up to start get information as we get closer to that 4K threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Ascension, what about Ascension Tactics?
Well, Ascension Tactics, we have Inferno. We have the Pledge Manager open up here for another couple of months here. We did experience some delays, which I believe we covered in last episode. So it is going to be arriving in fall for our backers. So make sure to keep updated on our Kickstarter. We'll be posting updates, and hopefully that'll answer any questions you have about that.
And as always, we give the disclaimer that when there's so many moving pieces involved, no pun intended, with producing a game and, shipping and stuff like that, there's always an opportunity for delays or wrinkles or speed bumps. So, like you said, we'll be keeping people updated on the Pledge Manager. On this show, we'll be keeping people updated when there's tangible news, but, that's just kind of the nature of the business sometimes. Next up on our list is Shards of Infinity. What's going on with that Pledge Manager?
Yeah, the Saga Collection will be open up here probably for another couple of weeks as we are getting close to shipping. We'll be sending things out from China starting in July, and then people will receive their products then within the next 3 to 5 to 8 weeks, somewhere in that range there, depending on where you're located. We'll have more updates posted, and we actually just posted an update today when we recorded this, showing off the new Ingeminex Desolation. He's the Chroma variant of the Ingeminex, and he looks really cool. Very colorful, very imposing, with kind of this black hole art behind him. We'll go ahead and show a photo of that here as well.
Ooh.
Next up, we have You Gotta Be Kitten Me, with a Target exclusive coming to stores here June 12th. We have a landing page that we're going to post in the show notes here in the description. But basically, for those who don't know, You Gotta Be Kidding Me is kind of a Liar's Dice inspired kind of game where you're trying to outwager your opponents. But you have cute little cats with little glasses and hats on, and you'll actually be able to put stickers on your own printouable cards and have your own pets included in the game.
And it sounds like we're going to have some fun promotional stuff for that going on at Gen Con. We're not entirely sure what that's going to look like yet. There's some logistical things in the way, but we're very excited for You Gotta Be Kitten Me adding to the StoneBlade library, and it's a fun, really interactive, fast-paced adorable game. I'm very excited for it.
We will be showing it off at Gen Con. I know that for sure. We'll have a table set up for it. Very
Yep.
excited to play it.
Yeah. It's a blast, and it encompasses large groups of people. It's a very fun, different style of game from a lot of what the rest of the StoneBlade Entertainment Library is, and I think that's a super cool kind of re-edition.
Mm-hmm.
Now on to the SolForge Fusion news. Like what we talked about, Set 3 The Last Winter is being released on June 6th, so likely by the time that you're watching this, it is released. Kickstarter backers, like you said early on, should be getting their pledges in the very near future. And this is very exciting because up until this point, not a lot of people have had a chance to play with anything from Set 3. We did have that in-person Fuse Fest event in April that got a small amount of physical product to people who made the trek up to St. Paul, Minnesota. But for the most part, people haven't had a lot of opportunity to play with these new cards. So we have a couple of things going on. First of all, on both of our streams, which, we'll plug at the end of the show, we've been playing some Set 3, and we're going to be playing Set 3 in this episode. Also, you can get your hands on the digital version of Set 3 product by participating in a lot of our online events. That there have been some in May where we've been able to give out a little bit of prizing for Set 3 The Last Winter, but all of the events that we're doing in June, whether it be the sealed stuff or other events we've got going on, it's all going to feature Set 3 The Last Winter. That is the Tuesday evening events in the North American time zones, Wednesday evening events in European time zones, and Australia's running events on Mondays and Fridays. But check the time conversion for your local start time. I think it's like 5 in the morning the day before our time. But all those events are posted on the SolForge Fusion events page. They're made on the Discord, so you've got like alerts and notifications that are coming up for those events. We are so excited for getting Set 3 out to the masses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's a good plug. To join the Discord as well, it'll do a bunch of those time conversions there for you, and you can see all the events coming up there in our new events tab.
Oh, and that reminds me, in addition to the kind of the weekly small sealed events that we have going on, we have the big monthly sealed event. So the weekly events are going to be $5, and you have to win a certain amount of games in order to maintain ownership of your decks. Otherwise, we kind of call them shadow decks, where then they just kind of disappear. Now, one thing that we have added to those $5 events is if you play a really, really good deck, or you really like some of the cards you got, but you didn't win your decks, you can reach out to me after the event and purchase them for $10. So for 50% of the price of getting a random one, you get to decide, hey, I want to keep this deck no matter what. It's kind of a thank you for participating and trying to help people get the cards that they want, that they enjoy playing, even if a tournament didn't quite go their way. So we've got those events, that little wrinkle that we added to the $5 sealed. We also have the $20 sealed event, which is everybody gets that product and you get to keep it no matter what. And then we're playing for more prizing if you end up making a top cut in those events. And, because I've been pretty busy, for June and July, we are doing qualifier events for the Gen Con World Championships. So there is no prerequisite to getting into Worlds this year for SolForge Fusion. Any unranked bronze, silver, or gold level deck is able to participate. However, we wanted to give some opportunities for people to win their way in. So these world events, we have one in June, one in July, where if you win this event, then you get free entry into the Worlds event. That normally it's going to cost $20, but you would get into that for free. We want to have people competing at a high level and trying to win with their best decks. Now, if you win the event, you don't necessarily need to play that deck at Worlds, but we want people competing at a high level, giving them an opportunity to do some constructed events as well. So I'm very excited to see who turns out for that and what decks have been uncovered and really perfected. But that is sweeping a wide brush stroke of all the stuff that we can be doing with SolForge Fusion on the organized play scene. But right now, Lucas, let's take some time for us to actually play the game. Now, Set 3, The Last Winter, it's been a long time coming. It's been a little over a year since the last set of SolForge Fusion was released. and people have been really excited for this. So we want to have an opportunity where we can play with some of our limited set 3 collection, talk about the things we're very excited for, and then let players get a little bit of inside our head experience as we play a match. So Lucas, what are some of the things you're really looking forward to in set 3 the last winter?
Well, set three brings a whole lot of new things to the forefront here. We have the new mechanic Exalted, which really highlights Exalts. It'll give your creatures in that row special abilities if they are in a lane with an Exalt in it. There are a bunch of new spirit synergies, which isn't a archetype that we focused as much on in the past. And we also have a little bit of some fun upgrade synergy introduced in there as well, especially now in green, notably, getting to upgrade creatures.
I also think you've buried the lead on what is my most exciting part of what set 3 is introducing, and that is Blighted
Mm-hmm.
Forgeborn. In a lot of the lore events that we have been going through at major conventions or smaller events over the course of the entirety of SolForge Fusion, which in a future episode we're really going to dive into storyline events and lore of SolForge Fusion and the role that it plays in the game design, the play structure, and our presence at major conventions. But long story short, a lot of these Forgeborn have been tempted by something that is like called the Blight, and we don't really know what it is or what it does, but it's had some weird effects on Forgeborn. Now, in set 3, one Forgeborn from each faction, we have Sunder, Queen Cersei, Oros, and Ironbeard that have all been blighted. So what that means is there's an opportunity for you to get a Soulbind Forgeborn card. And that's kind of a mouthful, but at a certain point, you'll be able to use a Forgeborn ability in order to get an Exalt onto the field, a different one for each of these Forgeborn. And if you end up being able to activate or trigger that Forgeborn, then on the reverse side of it, you flip it over to a new Forgeborn. And it's still, if it's a Sunder, then the text on that Forgeborn is Blighted Sunder, and it's got a slightly altered Forgeborn ability set. And some of those are crazy.
Yeah, I think we'll have to highlight one of those in our game here.
Well, it won't be from this end. Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh
Don't worry.
no.
I have one. I'll show it off. I'll show it off.
Okay, so without further ado, Lucas, show off what you're going to be playing today. Talk about some of the new mechanics and interesting things that you're going to be using to take me on in this match.
Yeah. Okay, and what I'll be playing here today is a Necrium Utera deck, showing off the new Bladed Forgeborn here, Cersei. She'll play a Bones of Solace, and then she will transform into the Blighted Cersei version. This deck
Oh, it's a blighted Cersei. Oh
Yes.
no.
We'll get to see some of the very exciting changes there that get to be done with Soul Swap and Soul Siphon here. Um, this deck focuses a lot on two main things otherwise. It has a lot of spirit synergy with an spirited druid, a couple of different spirits here. We have a Cherish Shrine. And then we also have a little bit of Exalt Matter theme in here with a Cold Heart Brute. Uh, so it kind of has that synergy, and then also showing off one of the new themes that goes through Utera here, which is caring about increased attack with a couple of these creatures, like the Arrogant Mastodon. He gets real big, especially at level 3 when he gets to make his ability into an activate. So it'll happen once per turn, and hopefully it gets to stick around a little bit long.
Oh no. Well, in light of that, I'm going to make a last minute change. And I am going to be going with a kind of a Lucas Lewinter favorite. I'm going with Necrium Aloyan. So
Okay,
leaning into
okay.
those nerds. And my Steel Rosetta has two new Forgeborn abilities. So it's Augment, which is give one of your creatures +3/+3. You may repeat one of its deploy abilities. I've got a
Ooh.
couple of options in my deck to be able to do that with. And then I've got Boost, where it says choose one. As a Forgeborn ability, you get options here, which is really flexible. I either get to play a Mega Gizmo minion or play a creature in a lane with one of my Exalts for free. And I also am trying to lean into some Exalts. So I have a few Exalted creatures. I've got the Combat Juggernaut that gains armor when it's in a lane with an Exalt. One of my favorite creatures in this deck is a Suppressing Champion. Suppressing has the deployability to destroy up to one enemy creature with X attack or less, so 3, 5, or 8. I'm hoping to replay that deployability a couple of times. And when that's exalted, I get to activate to give each creature adjacent to it attack and health. So that's pretty cool. In the Necrium half, I've got Corpse Host, I've got the Graveborn Caller, Nirali Engulfer. So a lot of new creatures that are doing some weird things. But the highlight of this Necrium half is my Dark Shaper Savant, which is the Necrium form of the Flame Shaper Savant from Tempest. But instead of when you play a level 1 card, deal damage to something, this is when you play a level 1 card, give an enemy creature minus attack and health. So I've got a couple of options to try to get the Dark Shaper Savant to proc multiple times, and we'll see if any of those can come to light. I've got the Drone Hive Exalt, which is one that the Charge Plated podcast spoiled a few moons ago. So your creature in this lane gets Slay, play up to 1 Gizmo minion. And then I've got the Silver Arc, which art goes all the way back to the first storyline event we did at, I think that was PAX Unplugged in 2022. That's what that looks familiar from. So there's a lot of really interesting things that can be going on with this deck. And hopefully it could come at you sideways enough where you can't get all of your things to trigger.
Okay. Well, let's see how these two match up here and start our game. Okay, and we are now in game. Let's see what we got going on here. Ooh.
Oh, I'm glad you started with the Forge.
I am definitely less happy about it. Looking at my hand here, it's a very very reactive hand. I think we're gonna just go ahead and try and get as much value as we can here. Starting off by playing a Cherished Shrine that's gonna do nothing. It's off to a great start.
Okay. I am very excited for you to start playing your game. I happen to get one of my other players have probably found this combo, but the Dark Shaper Savant and Drone Hive, I just started playing that combo today, and it can get nasty. So I got my Dark Shaper Savant, and I'm going to see if I can hide it away from what you want to be doing, and hopefully you don't have anything that you can kill my Dark Shaper Savant right away.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead here and you'll only have one thing come out here. So hopefully that can trade. If not, I'll regret the fact that I didn't play my Dreadbolt. Yeah, so
actually, wait, I think I want to do this the other way, because then I would get to keep it alive. So I'm going to undo that. That was great math right away. Oh, it won't.
No, it won't. It won't slay. That's the reason you target the 3/1.
Yep, that's right. Yep. Silly Church. Combos are for kids.
Yeah, but that is a pretty solid combo there. I mean, we'll get the Slay out of the Drone Hive. And then you're going to get another Gizmo as well.
Yep. It's meant to be pretty fun and nasty to go against. So let's see. So I've got a fairly bland hand of creatures here, but I've got Silver Arc as an Exalt, which goes really well with the replacement of Gizmos. But I think I need to get... Let's see. I think I'm going to get the Brigard. Yeah. Because that one also does a good job of spitting out level 1 creatures that can work well with the Dark Shaper Savant.
I am becoming more and more concerned about this match the farther we go in. Let's see here. I think we're just gonna try and line up some blocks to start. And we'll see what you got.
Hibernating Reaper, yep. Okay, so...
And Hibernating Reaper is a real threat late game. 14-20.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Let's go like this. And just see if I can keep one big tank just moving around.
Yeah, I got an issue with that. I think we're going to go ahead and sacrifice this. And hold on, why am I doing that? Because I can have 2 creatures survive here by doing that. I will be taking 6 to the face, though, which isn't fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. I think what we want to do here... Ooh. I want to play... Let's play Shepherding Willow here. Get that leveled up for some health gain in the future.
Ooh. Okay.
I think that's what we'll do.
Well, I don't like you having all of these like low-level creatures out. It's like low attack creatures out, but I don't want the board to get away from me. So I've got 2 creatures, and one of them's the Portatron 2000, which I discovered does not play well with the Brigard Carrier, because the Brigard Carrier says when this moves lanes, you may place a Gizmo minion in the vacated lane. Well, if it's switching lanes with the Portatron, then a Gizmo minion goes on top of that.
Yeah,
and that's no good.
That ain't great.
So I think I'm going to move back over, and I'm just going to create a really big body that's going to be difficult for you to deal with. Because that combat tactician now gets +5/+5.
Yeah. I figured you're going to have to deal with something like that.
That combo with the Silver Arc, if you're putting a Gizmo in there, or a Charger Mammoth, or something that wants to be replaced, there's so much value to be had.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I was hoping you were going to move to the left, so this would go in an empty lane. But we'll play the Shardplate Behemoth here, who deals attack with his health instead. So hopefully you don't have a way to save this Brigard Carrier.
Oh, I definitely do.
I'm
going to go with an oldie but goodie, Lucid Echoes. And I'm going to upgrade my Blight Skull Bomb, because I've got a few spirits in here, but it's mostly trying to have that as removal. And I'll just knock down your Behemoth to kind of a little tiny baby.
To a 2/2. Okay, we're going to get a zombie minion.
Yep.
Oh, I think we're chump blocking that for the foreseeable future.
All right, now we got our Forgeborn abilities. So I have optimized, play Gizmo Minion. Give the next creature you play this turn +2/+2. What do you have going for you?
I have Play the Bones of Solace. So let me go ahead here and hop into my deck list real quick. So Bones of Solace here is whenever a creature in this lane is destroyed, put an energy counter on this. Then, if there are 4 more energy counters on this, transform and overlay Cersei with this. And then we see the Blighted Cersei over here. So we're hoping to get some good stuff happening here. Let's see what you got, Jerch.
Well, I have 4 creatures, and then I got my Blight Skull Bomb level 2, so I don't need to be using that Blight Skull Bomb right now. I wouldn't get good value out of it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to keep playing as big a creatures as I possibly can, which means moving that over and then putting the Tactician the next level there. So I've got now 2 creatures with 11 attack staring you right in the face.
Okay. Oof. Not looking great. Um, got a couple of different options I can do here. I think the best is for me to do a little bit of replacing myself. I don't get as much value of it as your deck does, but I need to kill that Brigard Carrier.
All right. Well, I am going to try to boat race you here because I've got the Forge, so my creatures are coming into play in the front. So I'm just going to use my Forge-born ability right away. And seeing as how I might be losing my Brigard Carrier, I'm then going to play my next level of it on top of that Gizmo. So it's going to be nice and beefy. And that, too, is going to just be leaving behind little presents all over of more Gizmo minions. And I'll say goodbye to my level 1 and hope that my level 2 will be able to stick around and keep moving around.
Okay,
Your move.
so we're Bones of Solacing here now. I'm going to show, honestly, one of my favorite interactions here between a set 3 card and a set 2 card. This is Predatory Attack. And specifically with the
Oh
Shard Plate
no.
Behemoth, this card is a lot of fun. So one of my creatures is going to battle an enemy creature. If your creature survives, give it +5 health. So we're going to go ahead, have it battle over there. It's going to get +5 health. And then it is strong enough to take out this Brigard Carrier as well. Get rid of those gizmos. I don't want to see them no more.
Oof.
And now all I gotta do is cross my fingers and survive. So I think we're gonna start out here. Gain a little bit of life with the Shepherding Willow as I have 2 spirits in my banish pile. And then I get to gain 5 life. It also has 5 attack against your 11/5, which is pretty nice. And slowly get the counters up on that Bones of Solace.
I got my level 2 Darkshaper Savant, and I need to figure out if any of my level 1 cards to play will give me enough value, or if I'm just going to try to get that Savant to be draining something from you. So let's see what you can do to respond to that.
Oh, not as much as I'd like, to be honest with you. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play my Inspirited Druid here. So first we're gonna play a Wisp minion. Actually,
Oof.
I think we're gonna do this the other way. I think we're gonna play this over here. Play a Wisp minion in this lane, and then we're gonna replace the Inspirited Druid with a level 1 Spirit creature. And I'm gonna go ahead and select the Shepherding Willow. I gotta pad my life total a little bit here. And I'm gonna give my Shepherding Willow armor here with my Cherished Shrine. Because someone's gotta get value out of that card. And I'd hope it's me.
Someone does indeed. Okay. So I figured now, because you're going wide, I have a level 1 creature that I can use, or level 1 card that'll give me some value. And then we go like that. So then both of my scientists are going to stick around.
Yep, yep. And you're gonna get a Gizmo minion in this lane as well. Just keeps coming back.
And because Gizmos are level 1, I get to give something -3/-3.
Ooh-wee. I don't think it is looking good for me this game.
Let's see. I am going to give the slightly better drone hive there. And then let's see what you're going to do in response. Because I'm pretty much just playing straight up at this point.
I'm ending your shenanigans is what I'm doing. Spirit Reaver is going to go ahead and call out Mage. Giving it -1 health, getting rid of that, and now all I have to deal with is an 11/11 and a 4/4 Gizmo and a 5/2. So, you know, basically nothing.
Well, I've got this now Norelli Engulfer that it's exalted, so I can activate it and destroy a creature. And now because that's Slade, then I might as well just play another level 1 right there for you. Yeah, that Engulfer, if you can get past the level 1, it's pretty lethal too, because 2 attack doesn't take out a whole lot, but at level 2 when it's starting to destroy a creature with 5 attack or less, then that's really punishing.
Oh, man. Not looking good for me here. I think I have to chump block this. As much as it pains me. It's either that or the 6/2. But that leaves me taking 20 damage. Where right now I'm only taking 15. You know what? I'm doing a good job going wide. I can't have that in my way.
Continue to snipe.
Yeah. And then, now that I'm looking at that, we're actually going to play Wolfstar Djinn.
Something that could get really big as soon as next deck cycle. Yep. Makes sense. Alright.
Oh, man.
Well, walk us through what you're thinking at this point.
Oh boy, I wish I had a better deck. So we have my Forgeborn ability here, which is destroy one of my creatures to give a creature +8/+8. And unfortunately, I think we're in one of those situations where I can't afford to do that. So we're basically just playing defense. I don't even think I can... I'm trying to think what I can do here possibly to save some skin. Actually, so we're going to play Spring Bloom Sower. Gain some life, gain some life. Add more padding there.
Okay, I see what you did there. I am going to... I got the level 3 Darkshaper Savant, so I'm going to play that out, because most of the rest of my hand is level 1 stuff.
Ooh,
and now
boy.
I've got a -5/-5 on the ready for pretty much whatever I want to play. And I've got a couple of combos here that might do some serious damage to you. Yes. Possibly finish you off, but I don't want to be presumptive.
So we're going to activate our ability here, Soul Siphon. Destroy this. So we have something there. But more importantly, we're going to transform. Pad up that life total just a little bit more. And I know this thing is just about to at least make it so this isn't a trade for me anymore. More than likely.
Oh, actually, let's see. 11, 15, 16, 17. Shoot. Nope, I think that'll work. Okay, so if I augment my Portatron, and I can have it swap lanes here. What? It didn't swap lanes.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe we have a bug here with the augment ability that we might have to look into.
Okay. All right. For the purposes of this video, I will not submit the bug report yet. We'll just kind of finish off the battle. Because I could have had you there.
Yeah, by switching out these two.
Yeah. Yep, moving the tactician over. I think that would have been able to do it. But either way. Put the covetous bloodlord there. Give something with stealth. I do like how Cersei's art changed too. So she looks blighted, looks like she's tapped into something inky and dark and awful.
And on my screen here, I actually have some little ink splatter sort of things coming from my done button as well as the portrait. So.
Dang. Well, now I need to get a blighted Forgeborn at some point.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. We're just gonna have to play this here because that's where the most amount of damage is coming from.
And I've got my espionage. Oh, I could give a level 1 creature stealth. And then give this -5, -5.
Yeah, we
are. So
we're unfortunately dead here, because best I can do is this, and call out robot. And I take 9 damage here, and that is game Church.
Good game, my friend.
Yeah, good game. This deck definitely wants to survive to the late game here, but your deck has a lot of early game pressure with just the sheer amount of gizmos that you're able to produce over there. It was hard to catch up, especially with the Dark Shaper Savant getting a lot of value out of those.
Yes. Yeah, and those are new elements to set 3. Is the Dark Shaper Savant, and then we've got the Brigard Carrier and the Drone Hive. Like, all of those are new cards that people can be looking forward to and really trying to test out and see how the new synergies and the new cards integrate with the first 2 sets from SolForge Fusion. Very excited. We actually, do we have time for the email question or not?
Oh, I think we got time for the email question here. Let me we'll go ahead and close that here, and we'll just have this off in the background. Let me pull up the notes, because I forgot what the email question was.
That's okay. That's my job as the host, is to read it. We're perfect. In future episodes, we'd love to be answering questions on the show. If you've got any questions for either one of us, if you've got questions for StoneBlade in general, heck, we could even do rules questions and clarifications. We would love to get them. So if you just email op@stoneblade.com with the subject line questions for On Forge, we'll be able to answer them. This one comes from Talking Cardboard, a YouTube channel that does a lot of board game playthroughs and reviews. They ask, how long does it take to turn an idea for a game into something that could appear on shelves? What are some of the big benchmarks along the way? And I think, Lucas, you might be a really good person to answer this question.
Oh yeah, we're actually working on a game that I designed back in 2020. So it has been 4 years. However, design and development of it has probably only been about 9 months. And that's from a brand new idea into what'll be a finished product here shortly. Really, it depends on the size of the project in terms of how long it'll take. I would say anywhere from like a simple party game taking maybe a few months to develop to something a lot more tactical and strategic taking anywhere up to 2 years. There are a couple of big benchmarks that you can look for. Thing number one is always getting started. it's very scary to put an idea that you have in your head on the table in front of yourself or your friends, or maybe on Tabletop Simulator or some other online medium. It's going to look like garbage. It's going to be scribbles on paper, maybe some printouts. In fact, you don't want it to look good yet. You want to just put something out there and you want to try it. And 99 times out of 100, you're not going to be 100% thrilled with what you have. And that's what game design is all about, is taking that idea, starting it off, and then refining it. Keep iterating, keep trying new things along the way. And eventually, you'll come up with a game. And then once you realize you have what you want, you've tested it with other people of hopefully what your target audience is, and they like it, they're interested, they'd want to play it again. That's when you can move on to things like art and making it look pretty. Start looking at either, depending on the route you want to go, you could do crowdfunding. So you'll need to start raising money, getting art, or finding a publisher out there, finding a company that is looking for that style of game, shooting them an email. I know I get at least a couple emails a month of people looking for feedback on their games, and I try to respond to them when I can. But you, as the theme with all this, you don't know until you try. So I highly recommend it. The first big benchmark is putting something on the table, and the next benchmark is destroying that and rebuilding it into something new. And you keep doing that over and over. To give just some suggestions on places you can look to know where to start this process, we have our Think Like a Game Designer book that our CEO Justin wrote, founder of StoneBlade Entertainment. He also has a podcast where he talks to a lot of different designers in the field and other creative fields as well, kind of getting a way of learning how the creative process really applies to all creative fields. That there's this kind of methodology to creating a product and how similar different people approach this kind of work.
Yeah, it sounds difficult and grindy, but I bet there are a lot of fun parts along the way. So what are some like the most rewarding or exciting parts of this process?
I think something that's very important also to just like keep an eye on while you're playtesting is, are people having fun? And there's nothing more exciting than when players are around a table laughing and yelling at each other and having a blast, and know that that's something that you created, that something that you made is giving people so much joy and excitement. Uh, it's very rewarding, very exciting. I'm still working on my game right now. We're hoping to have that be our next crowdfund after Ascension Legends, so at the end of this year. And I'm really excited to share that project with the world and see what people think, and then go from there and keep designing.
That's really cool. Very exciting. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you, Lucas, for being my insightful expert. Where can people catch us if they want more of this content?
Yeah, so they can find us on our live stream. You do one every Monday there at 7 p.m. Central Time, and I do one every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central. Uh, if you want to get updated and see what time zone it is, join our Discord. That's also where we hang out a lot. So if you have any questions about any of our games, things that are upcoming, or maybe just have a question about game design, feel free to hop in the chat and send us a message. We're always happy to talk and answer any questions you have.
Yeah, like you said, the Discord is a great way to get involved. We've got more content on Twitch with the regular streams. On YouTube, those either are live streams or they show up like a day later. And that's where you can catch both of us. The weekly North American, European, Australian digital client events. Check those out on SolForgeFusion.com under the events page, where you can get more involved with either casual play, constructed, sealed, stuff that's high-level competition, low-level competition. We've got something for everybody. If you have questions for me, people can reach me at op@stoneblade.com or on Discord, where I'm still George. And my Steam friend code, if you want to shoot me a friend request and challenge me to SolForge Fusion on the digital client, that code is 103-628-342. Thank you, everybody, for watching on Forge, and we look forward to seeing you at the table.
See you next time.